edition of The Bader Show. I'm your host, Mark Bader. This is episode 464. Today's November 24th, 2025. And, man, excited for today's guest. He is... He's been good for a long time, but he's just kind of catching the college world on fire as of late. Kaleb Larkin, he's a 149-pounder for Arizona State, currently ranked number 2 in the nation. Kaleb, thanks for joining us today, man. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Man, I'm great. And congratulations. I understand you just told me. It was your first time wrestling a home duel. Same with Kyler yesterday. You guys wrestled at Oklahoma State. Man, just thoughts on being in the singlet, wrestling for Arizona State in the home duel and the atmosphere and what it was like.
It was awesome to, be received in that light and have everybody be excited to watch me and Kyler wrestle. So that was a lot of fun. And then just like getting to compete in front of our family like that, it was a lot of fun.
Excellent. And let's just run down. It's a big family. Kind of give me the rundown on maybe not everybody who was there because I don't know how extensive that goes, but give me your core family. Yeah. For the people who don't know.
All of our brothers were there. I think like both of our grandparents were there. Like 6 of our aunts and uncles. So there was about like 20 people just from our family alone who showed up, and then just all of our brothers. Yeah. Just watching from the sideline.
Give me the rundown of the brothers, oldest to youngest.
Just Caden, then Benji, who's our adopted brother. Then there's me. Then there's Kyler. Then there's Connor and Cash.
Okay, which actually probably takes me into my first topic question is your introduction to wrestling. Maybe it's just it's kind of been your whole life. You just were born on a wrestling mat. But how do you remember? And I think you guys kind of had a later actual start to competing and whatnot, but talk about the early years and just, I don't know, you're being around it or the introduction or what you remember, if anything.
I just remember running around on the mats whenever my dad was at Sunkist practice. Like me and Caden would go over and just mess with whoever was wrestling and just kind of just interrupt their practice. But I just remember always being around just the Sunkist guys and then obviously my dad. And then we really didn't start taking wrestling seriously until close to middle school because we were never really forced into it, but we were just always around it. So we were always on the mat and we were always practicing, but it was never really something that we took seriously until later. Yeah.
Which I think is a good tactic. I'm guessing maybe that's how your dad designed it or wanted it, but maybe not. But wrestling's so hard that once a kid starts, it's as well, we all know, right? Once you're in it, you're in it, and it's hard and intense. What were those early years like? Like you said, you were going to practice. Were you competing, or were you just kind of around it, playing? What? Yeah.
We would compete, but it was just a lot of weekend tournaments and local tournaments. Started hitting Tulsa Nationals when we were in middle school, and that never went well for me. I never really did good at any of those younger tournaments, but it was just fun competing.
And you're not now. What you're talking about growing up is you're done with the playing around at the Sunkist practices, and you were actually going to a club and you were practicing and going to local tournaments.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. Was your dad coaching that or no? And this is separate. This is before Valiant, right?
Yeah, this is before Valiant. Yeah, so our dad always kind of coached us over at Thoroughbred. It was him and then both of the Douglas brothers. But, yeah, he was just always around. He was our main coach, but he would always try and, delegate it to somebody else because, it's pretty hard coaching your kids. And I don't think it was ever intentional, but we would just kind of not do what he would tell us to do. And so whenever we would hear the exact same thing from somebody else, it would click for us. But I don't know. Maybe that's just us being stubborn.
I think that's completely natural, right? Those of us he's not my dad. And I look at your dad and I'm like, this guy's, he knows a lot. And he was really successful and he's the guy to listen to. But when it is your own dad, it's I hear a lot from this guy and this is one more thing. And yeah, so that's smart of him to try to have other people. Did you ever pick up on that? Or at what point maybe did you pick up on that? Hey, wait a minute, he's kind of going around to get the point in. He's talking to that guy, and that guy's helping. Or if you have an example.
Like once Valiant started, and I remember he just said that like Angel Cejudo had to be the coach because he was better than him. He was like, he's a better coach than I am, and he really believes that he was a better wrestler. And so he was like, I need the best guy for the job to go ahead and like coach my kids and do this because he's going to do a better job than I am. And so that's when I realized like all he was thinking about was just like trying to give us like the best position to be good.
And now the Valiant Prep is where you went. You graduated from Valiant. And my timelines on and how old you are, when you started school, and when Valiant. I don't have that all straight in my head. So, when did Valiant get started? Like, and what do you remember about your dad? I guess coming to you and maybe your brothers and being like, "Hey, we're gonna start this wrestling school," or however he said it. But it's essentially what it is. I think it's freaking awesome. And if you were like, "What?" or if you're like, "Yeah, sweet, let's go."
I mean, I was all in on it from the start, but I just remember thinking like, how is this going to happen? Like, there's no way this is actually going to happen. But I mean, I thought it was going to be great because it was just going to be going to school with all my friends and then wrestling all the time. So like, that was literally all I wanted to do. And so it was super exciting to actually get that to go ahead and happen. But I just remember like, not really doubting it, but like trying not to get myself too excited because like, oh, what if it doesn't happen? But it was just crazy when he brought it up for the first time.
And I get where you're saying, I'm not doubting it, but I don't want to get my hopes too high in case, because it just sounds too good to be true. Like, wait, let's be real. Of a school that's built around wrestling and for wrestlers, but that turned out to not be the case, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. It was great.
Okay, and so you were like, and backing up to just saying, you're like, wait, a school where all I can do is wrestle and I feel like that's what I want. So like, you know, going back to when you were a little kid and either you're at the Sunkist practices messing around or you kind of start, you know, actually getting on the mat and doing it yourself. Like, do you remember a time when you got hooked, or if there was a moment or like a time period where it's just like, I know I've been around it all the time, but now like, this is what I want to do. And I, you know, it's one thing to be at your dad's practices. It's another thing to be doing it yourself and say like, this, I love this. This is what I'm all in.
That didn't come until later. Like honestly, pretty recently. I mean, I always liked wrestling, but I never had like good associations with competing just because I didn't have a lot of success. But I really started to love it probably junior year at high school. Like pretty late. I mean, I always wanted to wrestle just because like it was a way for me to hang out with my brothers and get to be with them. So like I liked it in that sense, but I didn't like think that this was something that I was going to do my whole life until later in high school.
And when you say I didn't have a lot, you know, you didn't have a ton of success competing, what is it? Like, were you 500 coming up? Were you a little bit better than that? Obviously, now you're having great success.
Like, yeah, I mean, doing better now, but I would just always compare myself to like my older brother or like Caden and Kyler. Like, they were winning everything. Like, Kyler's always winning Tulsa, winning Fargo, and so like you are doing the same things as like your brothers or even like the other Valiant guys. Like they were always super successful, like Benji and Mikey Ramos. Like you train with them and you do the same things as them and you just don't have the same results. It's like, what am I doing wrong? And so you start to have a lot of doubt, but I don't know. It's just like, it was difficult to like want to continue on and keep doing it.
When did that change? You know, you like, was there a time when it finally clicked when you're like, okay, they're having the success and I went to the tournament and I did well, right? Like for me, and I'm not you, right? I'm just observing from the outside. And when I saw you at Bill Farrell in 2023, I was like, dang, I was not expecting this kid to beat Jesse. I know kind of who he is and the family, of course, but like, I don't have, and then I was like, wow, that was when I first was like, eyes opened up to you. But I guess maybe when for you was that, what you're describing?
I want to say like junior summer, I had a pretty decent tournament at the U20 World Team Trials. I placed at that, and I was pretty pumped about that, just placing. Ended up getting teched by Bill Bartlett in the semis, but I don't really think I cared that much. I just placed, so I was happy. And then ended up going to Fargo. I didn't place at Fargo, but I competed well. And then senior year, placed at Super 32. And then took second at the Open, and then placed at the World Team Trials again. So, like, I started to, like, see results and pick up some good wins here and there, but still nothing consistent. I mean, it wasn't until, like, I got into the ASU room and, like, started competing with all those guys, and then I had the Farrell, and that was the first time where I was like, okay, like, I can wrestle. Like, I can actually compete with these guys.
Was it something that you believed deep down, a place that you were going to get to eventually? Or is it not till you got there, you're like, oh, wow, I can get here, or I am here, and I know we all want to go higher, and I'm sure you have goals higher than where you are, but yeah, did it ever catch you off guard, or were you expecting to get to this point?
No, it was definitely like a surprise. Like, I didn't really have super high expectations going into the Farrell. Like, to me, it was just like, oh, it's just a chance to compete. I didn't think I was going to win. I didn't think I was going to do that good, but, like, you put together one good win, and then you get some momentum, and then you keep it going, and then, like, oh, like, you end up winning, so it's cool. But no, it was definitely kind of a surprise.
And my understanding of Valiant is you don't have the volume of competition, right? Because of the situation of the school. So are you going longer periods without competing? So maybe you can't see the progress because you're just in the room wrestling the same people every day, and maybe you're making all this progress, but you don't get a chance to go prove it and have these data points.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so it's just like, it's hard to know, like, when you're actually making gains because you don't get to compete that often. And so, like, you're, like, saving up all this time and doing all this training just for, like, for us, it seemed like we would just train all year long for Fargo or for Super 32 for the folk style tournament. And so, like, those were the two things where we would really get to test ourselves. And the rest of the time, it was just, like, kind of shooting into the dark and hoping what you're doing is right.
Could it be, who was I just talking to recently? Had a similar scenario where, like, okay, maybe there's an advantage to not competing a lot because you can just go to practice and just focus on positions or getting better. You don't got to worry about making weight. You don't got to worry about this tournament coming up or the anxiety or stress of competing. It's like I'm just spending 90-something% of my time just coming in here and thinking about nothing but, well, whatever you think, getting better, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true 100%. Because, I don't know, I think that's why, like, we're so good positionally. Like, we're not, like, just thinking about cutting weight or, hitting all these tournaments all the time. Like, we're just showing up to wrestle and get better in every single position. And that's a lot of, like, just Angel's coaching style. But it was just, like, focused solely on getting better at wrestling every single day because, like, we weren't going and hitting a bunch of tournaments all the time.
Yeah. And speaking of, like, getting better, right, there's the physical side, which is getting on the mat and doing and engaging and all that. But, like, when you're off the mat, right, do you think about wrestling or positions or very, very minute things or broader things? Like, do you think about wrestling much while you're not wrestling? And if so, like, how, narrow or wide is what you're thinking about?
Yeah, I think about it pretty often. Like, just when I'm, like, doing school or, like, when I'm driving, no, I'm always kind of just thinking about it. But it's not like stressful. I'm not thinking about, like, who I got to compete against or, like, oh, I got to wrestle this guy or I got to go hit this tournament. I'm literally just thinking about, like, I'm stuck in one position. Like, what can I do to get out of it? Or, like, how can I manage this tie? Or, like, how can I get more offensive? It's just, like, positions.
Yeah, because it feels like, I mean, when I watch you wrestle, it doesn't, some guys and a lot of wrestlers, and I don't mean this, there's, like, this urgent stress about them, right? Mm-hmm. And you just seem like calm, like you're wrestling hard, that's clear, but it doesn't seem like this, if that's even the right with this urgency, this stressed urgency. You just seem like you seem relaxed. Do you feel relaxed?
Yeah, I feel pretty relaxed. I feel like I've been in all these positions before, just wrestling like with Kyler and wrestling with like with all my brothers, and like just the way that we train. Like I've been in all these positions before. I feel like there's no reason to be stressed out because like kind of feel like I know what I'm doing. And then even if I do get beat in a position, I feel like I'm in good enough shape to make it up later in the match. So like there's no reason to be like, oh, I gotta go get this right now.
I was watching, I think it might have been, it was an interview maybe from after you won the Farrell, I forget, but I watched something earlier today, and you're like, I think you said something about a new approach. And what you said was, what I want to do is I want to wrestle hard in the positions that matter. And I think you were referencing practice or whatever it was, but like, I found that really interesting. Like, I think it was about how you train. You're like, we're wrestling hard in the positions that matter. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Just like Angel would always tell us, like, put yourself in a vulnerable position and then like find a way out of it. So don't avoid positions like that are difficult to wrestle in. Like, see it a lot like in my matches, like guys will get to my legs and like think that I'm about to get taken down. Even I think I'm about to get taken down, but like you end up figuring a way out of it because like that's all we do in practice. Like we get in dangerous positions and then figure out how to wrestle from there and how to score.
Yeah, it seems like a high level practices where like I mean, basics are important and you have to do it, but I do feel like, and I've only been in a handful of practices up there, but it feels like it's just a little different. Like, yeah, like we're just working on these positions instead of running through drill after drill after drill. Do you feel like you guys wrestle in positions more than we're like learning moves?
Yeah, because you need like Kyler was just talking about this, but like you need authentic feels. Like you need like resistance from the other guy, and like it's almost live. Like there's like it has to be realistic, and so the only way you get that is if you guys are basically both wrestling live and like you go through different partners so that you get different feels and just like wrestle hard the whole time, but it's not like you're avoiding positions or you're afraid to get scored on. Like you're just wrestling hard, like with no fear.
And digging into your training just a little bit more, when you guys are like, coach says, go wrestle in these positions. Is it like, hey, we're going to wrestle through, but in the end, it's my turn to score. It's my turn to figure the position out, and you're just kind of reacting, or you're kind of wrestling back and forth?
Nah, it's whoever gets it. It's at least like whenever I would wrestle with somebody, like I'm not gonna give up anything easy, and so I don't know. It's just like if you get me, you get me, and then if not, then we're gonna keep going.
Okay. I know your dad. I think we're like the same exact class, right? School age. And I was talking the other day, and we were talking about you, and he's like, "Yeah, man, he's getting really tough." He's like, he's to the point, and I know he's a little older, but he's like, if I get to his leg, that's a win. I ain't finishing, like, whatever. You know, he was giving you big compliments, but he's your dad. He was a Hodge Trophy winner. He's an amazing wrestler. And if he's saying this, like, he's your dad your whole life, I'm sure you wrestled him and he beat you. The turning of the tides is where I'm going. Like, was there a day where you finally took him down, or a day where you like, I think I could beat my dad now more than he could beat me? Was there a day, or do you remember that?
Yeah, it was my junior year, and it was a match day, and we were getting ready for Fargo. This was in the summer, so like July. And I remember just not really having to try. And I just felt a lot stronger. I felt a lot faster. And I was just like, I had just finished up wrestling with Robbie Mathers. I'd just gone a match with him. And I just remember grabbing my dad and feeling like, this dude isn't that strong. But I'm sure there was times before where maybe he felt like, oh, maybe it's too much. But I remember that day thinking like, oh man, like, yeah, I can get him now.
And have you kind of felt that more so than the opposite since then?
Oh yeah, oh for sure.
It's like now it's not even a question. sticking on that for the thing with your dad for a second, like, do you guys ever, and then you have these brothers and you're all kind of successful. Is there ever pressure internally, externally? Do you feel this like, oh my gosh, living up to, or is it like, no, man, I'm me, I'm doing my thing. I don't care about, not that I don't care about my brother or my dad, but comparing myself to them, forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're good.
Never from our dad. Like that was always, and like we get that question a lot, but there was never any pressure from him. And like, it was always weird, like talking to other people at like tournaments. They'd be like, oh man, like, is it tough? Like having that pressure and like it was never something that we even had to consider. Cause like, he always just made it about us. And like, we do this for ourselves. And so like, that was always something that was super easy to handle. But like, for me, at least, like I always struggled, like thinking like, oh man, I got to be as good as Kyler, because he was always like just killing everybody and winning everything. And it was like, man, like I want to be good like that too. So I would compare myself to Kyler and to my brothers a lot more than my dad, for sure.
Okay. And that's internal pressure from yourself. And I wouldn't expect pressure from your dad. He's a good guy, laid back, not intense in that wrong way over the line. So, okay. Now injuries, man, you were out last season, which was you redshirted in 2023-24. Last season was your redshirt freshman year, right?
Yeah. Redshirt freshman. Yeah.
Right. Was it the hips or no, the knee, hips?
So hips were before. 2 hip surgeries were before. Last year, I got my ACL reconstructed because I tore that like 3 days before I was supposed to leave for the senior world team trials in September.
Oh man, no bueno.
Yeah, no. So it's been a lot.
Yeah, and then I was talking to Tyler, who I think was just at, not I think, I know he was at your guys' duel yesterday. He spent some time with you. He said that a bunch of you guys, are all the brothers or multiple, have had like double hip?
Yeah, so Caden kicked it off. Our older brother, he got his 2 hip surgeries, and then, but he got his when he was younger. He got his when he was in 8th grade, and then me and Kyler both did after high school. But it's been all 3 of us, and it's probably going to be Cash and Connor also.
Is this genetics? Does this have something to do with the way you guys wrestle and flexibility, or we don't know?
From what we've heard, bit of everything. Yeah, genetics and just like being real flexible and just kind of the way we wrestle. Yeah.
And like, I don't know a whole lot about hip surgeries, but they weren't replacements. They were what?
No. So we have these bone growths on top of our femoral head. So they go in and they cut those off and they shave those down. And then that causes labrum tears, or just like the movement causes labrum tears. So then they go and they repair both labrums also.
Okay. All right. So you finally get to wrestle college this year, right? You've been around, you grew up in the area. I'm sure you've been to plenty of duels growing up, and man, things are getting, you look great so far. What has college wrestling been thus far compared to maybe what you've expected?
It's way better. I like the longer periods. I like wrestling 7 minutes, just able to like do a lot more in that time frame. And I feel like for me, like the longer that the match goes on, the better I get. So that's been a lot of fun. Riding time's pretty cool, like that. But it's just like super fun, like being on a duel team. Like we never got to wrestle duels at Valiant, or at least I didn't. Like some of the kids get to now, but that's super exciting. And then just getting to do it with Kyler and then Benji in a little bit. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. And in a second, I want to pull up this Lachlan McNeil match from National Duels. But to the point you made, like National Duels is like a different environment, where you just mentioned wrestling duels is fun. Now, like, tell me about that environment. The teams are right next to each other. It's a pretty cool event. How did you like wrestling at National Duels?
I liked it a lot. It was, I mean, I try not to get too excited about things, but like, it was just, I don't know. It was cool.
Sure. Nikki, if you want to pull over this match we got the Lachlan McNeil match. He's ranked number 2 at the time. We'll just kind of watch it. We don't need volume on it, but I just kind of want to, I think we start maybe a minute in or something like that, but just kind of curious, like I said, you always seem relaxed, and even when he's in positions where it looks like he, you know, oh my gosh, he's got my leg, or he's looking to score, you just seem relaxed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I feel like I get in all these positions like multiple times in practice, so like there's no reason to trip out and think like, oh, I gotta, you know, get nervous.
And that's so easy. Like, it sounds so simple, and then what you're saying is so simple. It's not always that simple to implement, right? For people to apply. Like, yeah, it's not a big deal, but man, people just get out there, and those lights make a lot of people nervous. Clearly, you guys thrive there, or you. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What'd you feel?
Well, I feel like.
Yep. Go ahead.
I feel like it's like if you put pressure on yourself to win, I don't know. I feel like that's when like the nerves start coming in. Like it's never pressure to win.
What is it? Pressure to anything, or no? Is it pressure to wrestle well, or is it just not pressure?
Yeah, just pressure to like wrestle as hard as you can the whole time. Like I feel like that's all that anybody expects of me. Like not to win. I mean, like sure they want me to win, but like that's not the expectation.
It's a great mindset, Kaleb. It really is. Yeah. Like, you know, so many people could use that advice, because I think there's a lot of people that feel pressure to win and pressure to perform and pressure to, whether it's from outside factors or you know, from themselves. But you clearly have a good mindset and a good whizzer. That was unbelievable. It was like a minute plus. You just kind of held there and hopped on one foot. You have the foot in the air. You feel comfortable, huh?
Oh yeah.
It's switch season. You don't see a lot of switches anymore.
No, my dad used to do that a lot, so I just kind of grabbed that from him. But
yeah, people aren't expecting a switch. That was great. And like, so, but before you a match like this, you know, Lachlan's really good. And what do you think, or how do you feel coming into a match like this?
I don't know. I wasn't really like super nervous or like super excited. It just kind of seemed like something I had to go do. Like I was just gonna try and wrestle as hard as I could the entire time, and like hopefully it was enough to win. But I don't know. I just wanted to like try and put up as many points as I could. I still feel like I could have done a little bit better. I was like pretty like laid back in the first period, and I just think that I need to go be a little bit more aggressive the whole time.
You haven't had a whole lot of college matches, especially to this point, but you know who you are. You know you've beaten good guys. You know you're good. Like, is this the kind of match or tournament that you're like, let me see where I stand? I'm pretty sure I know, but I gotta go wrestle against these guys and do it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, this is super early in the season, and like these wins don't really mean that much right now, but I just gotta be consistent, and I gotta like keep on putting together good performances, and I think no matter what, I'll be happy at the end.
And you say these it's early and these wins don't mean much. I feel like what these wins mean to rankers and numbers and all that, like, is what it means to you and your confidence, and you're like, no, now I know. Okay, like to me, I'm like, that's the most important thing, is like what you get out of it, with the information that it tells you about where you are.
Yeah, it just means that like I'm on the right path, and I just got to keep on like doing what I'm doing, but like start to ramp it up a little bit more now.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever set goals? Whether, you know, state titles aren't a goal since you're at Valiant, but like looking at whether it was Fargo or college or whatever.
Yeah, I did, but I never really got any of them, and so like it just turned into something that would like stress me out or like be disappointing, and so I just ended up like trying to like make sure that I love the sport and I enjoyed going to practice every day, and I just worried about getting better, because those things, like, they seem so far away, and it's like nothing tangible, and so it was always easy just to like keep on like just trying to like get better.
Dude, that's the philosophy I hear from the most Penn State, who's the most successful college. I hear that philosophy from Aspen Wrestling Academy, which is like one of the most successful, clubs. And what I keep hearing is love it, fall in love with it, try to get better. Like, again, easier said than done though. But you're doing
it. But like that's all we were ever told, like by our dad and by Angel. Like that's the only mindset that like we were brought up with. So it's like it just seems pretty easy to like keep on going with it.
Yeah, I think that message needs to be shouted louder from more people more often, and I just couldn't agree with it more. Love the sport first, then worry about getting really good and trying to have success.
Yeah.
So, kudos to you, man. And there it is. Is that the end of it? 11 riding time, 12:3. Is any part of you like, man, that's really good?
Dude, I wanted to score more. Messed up that last takedown.
I didn't even watch. I was too busy talking to you. What was it where you messed up the last takedown?
Shot a single and then like he like limp leg out.
Oh. Well, but you didn't score at the end, did you? It ended neutral?
Oh no, I scored at the end after that one, but he almost cradled me. But then yeah.
All right. Well, dude, that's freaking great. Yeah. So I think that the next big thing, I don't know if you guys have a duel coming up, but CKLV is coming up in a couple weeks.
That's next up.
Yeah. What excites you about going through an individual tournament now?
Getting to wrestle a lot, and it's going to be stacked for the most part. I think every single match is going to be good. And so just making sure that like I'm doing the right thing still and kind of get some momentum going from each of those wins, but just something to reassure me that like what I'm doing is right.
Sure. Have you guys attended the NCAA Wrestling Championships in the past ever?
Yeah. I think we've been like twice.
Okay.
Me and my brothers.
What do you, if you remember where it was, cool. If not, no big deal. But like, what do you remember about the tournament? Were there any individual wrestlers that caught your eye or something happened that you remember?
Yeah, I think the first tournament I went to was when Yanni won it his true freshman year.
Cleveland, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I just remember the crowd. Like every single time like somebody got a pin or like one of the Iowa dudes got a takedown or like one of the Penn State dudes got a takedown, like everybody would just go crazy. So I just remember like the crowd, like, and then like the crowd was like knowledgeable. Like they knew like if it was like they're just plugged in with all the team scores or when somebody got like a big time escape, like they just knew like what to cheer for. And like that was super cool.
Yeah. Were you ever like, I assume you grew up watching ASU and I probably liked those wrestlers, but in a broader sense, were there, and I guess we'll get to like, I'm thinking about your all-time favorite. Do you have an all-time favorite wrestler that you're a fan
Adam
of?
Satiev.
Say again?
Adam Satiev.
Okay.
The younger brother.
Yeah. Why do you like Adam Satiev?
I don't know. He just does a lot of cool things with his feet, like wrestles like it's feet or hands. So I just try and do a lot of that.
That's funny. I just heard a couple of guys talking today about you, and they're like, Kaleb Larkin wrestles you like with his hands and his feet at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you just brought up Satiev, and that's like what you said. So I can see the influence. Did you like ever go down the YouTube rabbit hole with Satiev matches and?
Oh yeah. No, I've seen every single video that he has on YouTube. I've seen it. And then he's got this hour-long footage of him just training out practice, beating up a bunch of guys. I've seen that video probably like 50 times.
Oh man. So you dive deep into wrestling on the internet.
Yeah.
Me too, sometimes. Okay. Man, this is great. One other game, whatever, little thing I like to play here is I call wins and whoopins. So I'm thinking like, and I ask this to all kinds of people, and everybody's got some form of an answer, like from any match that you've ever wrestled. I want one example of a win that stands out as memorable. It could be a big win like you just had at National Duels, or it can be like a comeback win when you're a little kid. It can be somebody who always beat you and now you beat them, or it could be whatever. One win that stands out, and then just one whooping. right? We've all had some bad whoopins in our life. One win, one whoopin. You can do either one first.
Win. I liked when I beat Pat Lugo. I think it was in the semis of the Farrell. That was just a tough match. Like, we wrestled hard the entire time, and it was like only 3-2 that I won, but I felt like way more happened. But I was happy with that one. And then, man, I've been beat up quite a few times. Probably when Seth Gross trap armed me and teched me at the Olympic trials.
Was that for like first or second round wrestlebacks, I think?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one sucked. That was a tough one.
All right. Well, those are both hammers. But obviously you enjoy being on one side of that more than the other. I just like how do you feel about the way you've competed so far? Obviously, you won all your matches. The scores have been very favorable. But like when you rate how you performed, you're like, man, I love it. I'm okay with it, or I wish I'd be better, or anywhere in between, or more or less than that.
I think I know I can score more. I know I can be more offensive from the jump, and I think I just got to like figure out how to make it happen earlier, because I'll start to get momentum going later in the match, and I just want to be able to find that like from the first period. And so like I think there's like a lot that I can improve on, just with like some mindset and some tactic changes.
I took a sports psychology class in college, and they talked about optimum level of arousal, right? Like being anywhere from like just sitting there, hey, you're up next, to like guys who are like pacing around for 10 minutes and like need to jump around and get extremely physically aroused, right? Like, where do you like to be on the physical level of arousal before you wrestle, right? Like just kind of standing there. Yeah, go ahead.
Our mindset coach talks about the exact same thing. I like to be like just real calm. I was actually sitting in a chair for Kyler and Pearson's match right before I went out there. So like I just like to be real calm, but might have to change that up if I want to like start scoring more.
That's where I was going. It was a leading question, because you said I once like I get my motor going in the second period or the third. I'm wondering if any kind of physical change from the start would jar a different result or a different start to the match. So that's always something that's interesting to get into those like nuances about the sport. So, and like how about your weight? You look tall and you look big. Do you? Are you cut much weight, or is this just natural? Way you look.
Well, that's kind of how my dad was.
Yeah.
When he wrestled 33, he wrestled 41, he wrestled 49. He was always pretty big. But now I'm big. Yeah.
Making weight's okay, or it's a challenge, or?
It's good right now. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I started early with getting down to weight, so no, I'm good right now.
Do you think you're a lifer at 149, or is it this last year?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just got to make sure that I'll be good for like 74 kilos for the trials. So just after this year, I'm gonna start getting big.
What do you like more, freestyle or folk style?
Freestyle, easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Is that a Valiant influence, or is this prior to your Valiant days, or
it's probably a Valiant influence, but like all my favorite wrestlers are foreigners, and so I don't know. I just think that's way cooler.
All right. Well, that's fair. I like freestyle too. I always liked folk style, and then for some, it just switched. I think freestyle is faster. It's more exciting. It's a higher level, obviously, when you go to the highest level. And I love folk style. I love scrambles. I love rolling on it. But I think freestyle, for me, it's more exciting to watch senior level freestyle than the top level college. I love
100%.
top level college. So, awesome. Well, Kaleb, I think that kind of takes us through the end here. I don't know. I'll leave it to you. Is there anything we left out, or any word you want to throw in there? Any final word you want to say to anybody?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, that's going to do it, man. I appreciate you coming out and chatting with us. Wish you the best of luck at CKLV, and it's going to be a pleasure to watch you the rest of college and beyond.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, man. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Later.
All right, folks. Kaleb Larkin. He is a redshirt sophomore at Arizona State, currently ranked number 2. We're glad he came on, and that's going to do it for today's show. So everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Thanks a lot. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.